Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our final Premier League game against Wolves. So I'm going to give you all the questions he was asked and I'll give you his responses to them questions. So yeah, when speaking to the media for his usual pre-match press conference, Solskjaer provided us updates on Harry Maguire, Fred, McTominay and Anthony Martial, assessed our performances in the Premier League this term and analysed what United need to do climb in order to top the table next campaign. So let's get into it anyway. So this was the first question that was asked to him. Hi Ole, you've obviously guaranteed second spot, and how would you sum up your season in the Premier League? And what do you think you have to do to get closer next time? Ole's response to that question was, of course, we're not where we aim to be. We've got ambitions to move one place further up. Of course, it's been steady improvement. We've improved steadily, surely. Third last season, second this season. Some more points, done really well away from home, of course. We know we had a difficult start with the lack of pre-season, and we lost 3 out of the first 6 games, and loads of them were home games, which put pressure on the team. But they've managed really well. The players have been very, very good. So yeah, that's a fair response from Ole. Yes, I agree with him on that aspect. Manchester United have improved. Obviously, we've got second place this season, and obviously last season we finished third. And obviously we've been far superior away from home than we have been at home, because we are unbeaten in our last 25 Premier League away games. All our defeats have come at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. Yes, some of it has been to do with no fans being there, but there was recently 10,000 fans against Fulham. Anyway, this was the second question that was asked to him. What do you hope to see from your players against Wolves on Sunday, and what is the thinking behind the team? Is it keeping everyone fresh and fit, or what's your thinking? Ole's response was, you want to go into the final with lots of energy but also confidence, so we will make changes, freshen up a few, rest a few that have really been playing and been regulars in the team. We want to go, as I said, go into the last game. We know that we have done really well away from home, and go and enjoy it and get some minutes into a few who might need it before the final. Yeah, like I said, Solskjaer's expected to rotate heavily, and he will rest key players for the final. Because obviously this game against Wolves is a meaningless game anyway. Whether we win, draw or lose, it's not going to change the complexion of things. But I'd like us to beat Wolves, because we have lost our last 3 league games in a row. So anyway, that was Ollie's response to that question. This was another question that was asked to him. There were pictures of Harry Maguire without crutches at the film premiere last night, and fans got really excited. What is the latest with him? Do you think he'll be fit to play in Gdansk? So Ollie's response was, he's walking, but it's a long way from walking to running, to be honest. I don't think we'll see him in Gdansk, no, but as I've said so many times, I'm going to give him until Tuesday night, the last training session, to see if he can try to be out there. Steadily but surely he's improving, but ligaments, they take time to heal. So yeah, Harry Maguire is going to be missing the final against Villarreal. That's a big blow for Manchester United. He's one of our first choice centre-halves. Maguire has got ligament damage in his ankle, and I agree with Solskjaer, is a serious injury. He sustained the ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Aston Villa. Maguire's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million and he's the second most expensive signing at the club. He has been consistent in some of his games at Man United, but he's also enjoyed quite a lot of poor games as well. He certainly wasn't worth 80 million though. Anyway, that was his response to that question. This was another question that was asked to him. Have you... Wait a second. Have you decided what's happening with Juan Mata yet? Because it could potentially be his last game. All his response to that was, we're talking to Juan, we've had a good dialogue, good discussion. The dialogue will continue, let's see what he wants to do at the end of the season. Of course, he's such a top professional, very good player. It's hard for me not to play him more than I have done, of course. There's been circumstances this season, some personal issues that's made him less available. He's still a top player, so that decision will be made after the season has finished. So that was all his response to that one. And yeah, Solskjaer did say not so long ago that no decision has yet been made regarding Juan Mata's future. I think there's a chance he will leave in the summer transfer window because he doesn't really get in R11. I think Juan Mata's current contract expires next month, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. At the first part of this season, don't forget he rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Matt has been at the club for 7 years now. Got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. My element of concern about Mata, he's lost that yard of pace and plus he's ageing up. But I think he'll be in contention to play in this game against Wolves. This was another question that was asked to Ollie. Assuming Harry doesn't make it, I guess he will still travel out to Gdansk with you. If he does that, what kind of role can he play? You talked well about his leadership qualities. What kind of role can he play off the field and with the players if he doesn't make it on the field? Ollie's response was he's a very important person in the dressing room and a leader. I think before the fans came in, you all heard him from the stands. He does still want the team to do well. He's organising even from the stands, which has been easy because it's been so quiet. He'll come, he'll be in the dressing room, he'll make sure everyone is ready for the final. So that was all his response to that one. Let me just get to next question. So this is the next question. Just going back to what you were saying a little earlier, Ollie, about your ambitions for next year. How much are you planning at this stage? What your transfer strategy will be over the summer? And do you expect Man United to have a big summer in terms of players in and out? Ollie's response was, of course, we're planning as we normally do. It's not like at the end of the season, let's see what we do. That's an ongoing process. We're looking at the squad, players who are going to stay, players who might be leaving. As I've said a couple of times lately, I hope that we're going to strengthen with a few, 2 or 3 players. We definitely need to challenge higher up in the table. We're still too far behind to think that's just going to come by itself. So yeah, fair response from Ollie. So he basically wants Man United to make 2 or 3 signings in the summer transfer window if we are to challenge Man City for the league next season. This was the next question that was asked to him. Just following up on that, do you know what the player turnover is going to be like this summer. I know you've said that Sergio's going to leave the club at the end of the season, but roughly how many more players could go in the summer? Ollie's response was, there might be, obviously, we've had a few on loan who might come back in. There might be some interest in them, or there is interest in a few others maybe going out. You want to come out of the transfer window strengthened, that's the thing. It might be that we allow some players to go out to gain experience and come back stronger for it. Apart from that, it's difficult to say. I can't see too many outgoings. So we might only see 2 or 3 players leave Man United in the summer transfer window. So that was his response to that anyway. This was the next question. We talk about players improving, the team improving. I just wondered, in terms of your season, do you think you've improved as a manager this year? Oll's response was, he obviously laughed, it's probably not up to me to say, but you learn all the time, of course. We've had lots of ups and downs, and you learn from your wins, you learn from your mistakes and defeats. The older you get, the more experience you've got. You've probably a better leader for it. So for me, I'm taking it in my stride, but I'm used to everyone else judging how I do and how badly I do or how well I do. So it's not up to me to rate myself, no. That was all his response to that. This was towards the end of the press conference. Obviously Tuesday we had fans back and it all went off really smoothly. It was good to see them back and everything. I know the owners have arranged a chat with the fans forum at the start of June, and presumably you hope that both sides can reach an understanding. Presumably you don't want the sort of problems we saw a couple of weeks ago hanging over you potentially next season. All's response to that was, to be reunited with the fans again was great. I thought they supported the team really well. Of course, the meeting between the fans and the owners will, of course, be a step in the right direction for me. We want to start next season on a high. We want to start well. We want to start with a good atmosphere in and around the club. The one day that really was a disappointing day was the first time with the Liverpool game, but the other times they've got the right to express their view and they've done it in the right ways after that. So that was Ollie's response to that one. And this was the final question. Can I just check on the fitness of McTominay, Fred and Anthony Martial ahead of the weekend and the final? Also, do you buy into the theory that you have to go into a major final with some momentum? Is it important that you win on Sunday so you go into that final with a win, or does it not really matter? Oll's response was, every game matters. Every game you play matters for the players who are on the pitch. It's an important preparation for the final. Get confidence, get momentum. As you say, of course, a final lives its own life. I know Anthony's not going to be available. Scott and Fred should be okay. So yeah, that was everything that was mentioned in the press conference. We are coming into this game against Wolves on the back of a 1-1 draw with Fulham. I was very, very disappointed with the draw against Fulham because I expected Manchester United to beat Fulham because Fulham are a very, very poor team. And Fulham have got nothing to play for because they're already relegated. Solskjaer gave his perception on the draw with Fulham. He said the performance was not what the fans wanted. But like Solskjaer said, it was good to see the fans back. It was a good performance by Man United in the first half against Fulham, but I thought in the second half it was poor and Fulham dominated the second half. The only positive to take from that game against Fulham was Edison Cavani's goal. He scored from 40 yards out. Obviously he saw Areola off his line and he dinked it over him. Bruno Fernandes had actually been given the assist for Cavani's goal, but I don't think he touched it. You know, we are winless in our last 3 Premier League games. You know, like I said, drew 1-1 with Fulham, lost 4-2 to Liverpool. I was very, very disappointed with a loss to Liverpool because obviously Liverpool are our fiercest rivals. You know, it was Liverpool's first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2014, and it was Jurgen Klopp's first win at Old Trafford as Liverpool manager. Then the other week, we lost to Leicester 2-1. I weren't too disappointed with the Leicester defeat because Solskjaer played a weakened squad in that game, obviously with the fixture congestion. So yeah, it would be nice to get a win at Wolves because obviously that would give us more confidence going into the final against Villarreal. Wolves have endured a very poor season. The 12th in the Premier League. I'm shocked in that aspect because Wolves have actually done very well in recent seasons. Their current manager is Nuno Santo. He's been Wolves manager now for quite a few years. He's managed a few clubs. Obviously, before he was at Wolves, he was at Porto. He also managed Valencia. And he's also managed Rio Ave before. We did beat Wolves at Old Trafford earlier on this season 1-0. It was a goal from Marcus Rashford in stoppage time. It was fortuitous, was the goal. You know, Wolves were actually unlucky not to get anything at Old Trafford because defensively they were superb. We drew with Wolves at Molineux 1-1 at the start of last season in the Premier League. Wolves knocked us out of the FA Cup quarter-final a couple of years ago. 2-1. Wolves got to the FA Cup semi-final for the first time in 21 years that particular season. The last time we won at Molineux was back in 2012, 5-0. Wolves recently lost 1-0 against Everton. But Wolves have got some very, very good players. Obviously, Raul Jimenez, he's one of their key players. I think there's a good chance he'll be in contention to play in this game. Raul Jimenez has recently been injured. And Man United have been linked with Raul Jimenez before. Wolves have also got Adama Traore. I think he'll be in contention to play in this game. Man United have been in for Adama Traore before. Sorry, I said Amad Diallo Traore then. Wolves have also got Willian Jose. They brought him in back in January. He could be involved in this game. Wolves have also got Neto. Neto's out with injury at the moment. They've got Johnny. He's also out with injury. Podence, he's out with injury as well. Dendoncker, Wolves have got him. Pretty good midfielder. Ruben Neves, I think he'll be in contention to play in this game. Earlier on this season, it said that Man United were linked with Ruben Neves. I also rate Moutinho. He's a very good midfielder for Wolves. Fabio Silva, he's also good for Wolves. Wolves brought him in last year. They've got Nelson Semedo. They brought him in from Barcelona. They got that Vitina. They brought him in last year. They brought whoever in from Liverpool. Conor Cody, he's also good for Wolves as well. Wolves haven't been the same team since Diogo Jota left them. Obviously, Diogo Jota left Wolves for Liverpool last year. So, yeah, Wolves losing Jota, has affected them. They also lost Matt Doherty to Tottenham. But anyway, Solskjaer's confirmed that Hannibal Meejbrai will be making his debut against Wolves. I think Solskjaer is also in the squad for us. But yeah, the Europa League is our priority. Solskjaer is looking to get his first trophy on the board as Manchester United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first major final as Man United manager, and it's our 8th European final. It will be a tough game against Villarreal. Villarreal are no pushovers, but they're not world beaters. But we win the Europa League. That will give us confidence, and that'll give us something to build on going on into next season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big next season is going to be for himself, because next season he's got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. Because if things go wrong next season, then there's a very good chance that he will be sacked. But obviously, we're not looking towards next season. Obviously, yeah, we're looking towards a summer transfer window, see what we can do then. Then we're going to look to next season. It's not long now until the summer transfer window opens. I think it opens, is it on the 9th of June? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. Yep, Solskjaer said that he wants Man United to make 2 or 3 signings. I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. The summer transfer window will be Ole's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. It's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in the summer transfer window, because I don't think he's been backed enough so far in the transfer windows that he has enjoyed, because he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in. But I'm expecting him to get the backing he deserves, because we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've got Matt Judge, and Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. But Solskjaer, I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done at Manchester United. So in that aspect, I am shocked. He has done a good job to say, the players and that he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. This has been Solskjaer's 2nd full season at the club. And he's been Manchester United manager now for over 2 years. He has just under 1 year remaining on his current 3-year contract, but earlier on this season it said that Ole agreed a 3-year contract worth 30 million, likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra 1. I do have my concerns about Ole. My 2 biggest concerns about him, like I've said before, is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and his decision making also concerns me. But there's also a lot of positives regarding Ole anyway. You know, obviously he's got us to the Europa League final. You know, this season he got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. We've enjoyed very good periods under Ollie where we have seen consistency. He did well last season in his first full season at the club. He got us third place last season, got us to 3 semi-finals last season, got us qualification for the Champions League. You know, he's got us second place this season. He's made good signings as Man United manager. So far, he's spent almost £300 million. He's got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. And I like the way he has promoted the youth. So they are the positives regarding Ole. There is a lot of United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. He does deserve at least one more season. But there's been a lot of United fans that have demanded Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, and they've heavily criticised him. Obviously, they've got their reasons behind it. I don't think he's the long-term manager for Man United, but I hope he's the long-term manager because I want Solskjaer to succeed as Man United manager because we adore him and he is a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. But Solskjaer is our best manager since Ferguson, even though he hasn't won a trophy yet. We appointed him in December 2018 to replace Mourinho, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. The club gave him the job permanently back in March 2019, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job. When he got appointed in as Man United manager, he did assure that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and Solskjaer has done this. You know, he is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. The 3 managers we've sacked since Ferguson retired was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup. We started well under Van Gaal and it all went downhill. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. And also got us a 2nd place finish, I think, which was in his first season. So you can say Mourinho did enjoy one good season with us. So yeah, they're the managers we've sacked, and we're not even really known as a sacking football club. We've overpaid for players in recent years as well. And in general, our recruitment's been poor, and in that aspect, the blame stems from the board. We spent over £1 billion in the last 8 years as well on players. You know, we must have brought around 37 players in since Ferguson retired. And in general, we've made mistakes in the last 8 years, so that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. We've got to get the Glazers out of the football club. As you all know, Joe Glazer will be attending a fans forum on the 4th of June. Solskjaer did recently say that the fans' protests have affected the players. Earlier on this month, Solskjaer did say that the Glazers apologised to him. Solskjaer did say the violent incidents went too far. That was on the 2nd of May. But he did say that the club needed to take notice of the fans because everyone can understand the fans' frustration. Earlier on this month as well, Solskjaer was angry with Gary Neville over the Man United protest. Gary Neville had quite a few things to say on it. And earlier on this month, Joe Glazer wrote a letter to Man United fans. And Avram Glazer, don't forget, refused to apologise over the European Super League. We'll the Old Trafford protest forced the Glazers out of the club? I hope so. He said not so long ago the Glazers could be forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. That's what they are demanding, £4 billion. Earlier on this season as well, our fans were protesting against the Glazers at Carrington. Earlier on this season as well, it said the Glazers have got no intentions of selling Man United despite the protests. Solskjaer did say, didn't he, at one point that the Glazers will not sell Man United, and he told protesters that Joe Glazer loves the club. Joe Glazer, don't forget, released a statement earlier on this season apologising to club fans over the European Super League plans. But we get the Glazers out, it'll definitely be the right decision because they've put us in so much debt. And in general, I hate the way the football club has been run now for a long time. The Glazers bought Man United for $500 million in 2005, so they've been with us for 16 years now. So we need to recommend new owners in. We've obviously got Woodward out. You know, he's going to be standing down at the end of the year because it got announced earlier on this season that Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. Who will be our new chairman to replace Woodward? So anyway guys, on my next video, I'll be giving you an update on some more transfer news. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.